My name is Aurora. I worked in a club to pay my debts. I danced for him, and he bought my freedom. It was the night he chose me. I want to tell you my story. It is a long story. It is a true story. Maybe you are sad today. Maybe you feel trapped. Please listen to me. Things can get better. It is okay to feel scared. I was very scared too. You can change your life. You are strong. I am 25 years old now. But my story starts when I was 20. I grew up in a very small town. It was a quiet place. My family was poor. We did not have a lot of money, but we had love. My father was a good man. He smiled a lot. He played with me. My mother was a kind woman. She cooked warm food. She sang sweet songs. We were happy. Then everything changed. My father got sick. It was a very bad sickness. He stayed in bed. He could not walk. He could not work. He stopped smiling. His face looked tired. His eyes looked sad. My mother tried to help him. She worked very hard. She cleaned houses for rich people. She washed their clothes. She washed their floors. Her hands became red. Her back hurt. But the money was not enough. My father needed medicine. The medicine was very expensive. The doctors wanted big money. We did not have big money. My mother cried at night. I heard her crying. I wanted to help, but I was young. I had no job. We needed help. We needed a lot of money fast. My mother went to some men in the city. They were bad men. They wore dark clothes. They had cold eyes. They smiled, but their smiles were scary. They gave my mother money, a lot of money. My mother bought the medicine. My father took the medicine. We hoped he would get better. We prayed every day. But the medicine did not work. My father died. It was a very rainy day. We put him in the ground. I cried so much. My chest hurt. My eyes burned. My mother was silent. She could not speak. She lost her husband. I lost my father. Our house felt very empty. It felt very cold. We were alone. Then the bad men came to our house. They knocked loudly on the door. Bang, bang, bang. I opened the door. The men pushed inside. They looked around our small house. They looked angry. They wanted their money back. They wanted more money. They said it was a loan. A very bad loan. My mother begged them. She said, "Please, give us time. We have no money." The leader of the men looked at me. He looked at my face. He looked at my hair. His eyes were dirty. I felt sick. I stepped back. He smiled his scary smile. He said, "You do not have money, but you have a daughter. She can work. She can pay the debt." My mother screamed. No, not my daughter. She tried to push the man, but the man pushed her down. My mother fell on the floor. She cried. I ran to my mother. I held her. I looked at the bad man. I felt very angry, but I also felt very scared. The man said, "She comes with us, or we take your house. We put you on the street." I looked at my mother. She looked so old. She looked so tired. I loved my mother. I could not let her live on the street. I made a choice. It was a very hard choice. I stood up. I wiped my tears. I said, I will go. I will work. I will pay the debt. The men laughed. My mother cried louder. No, Aurora, please no, she said. I kissed her face. I said, I will be okay, Mother. I will come back, I promise. I packed a small bag. I put one extra shirt. I put one picture of my father. I left my home. I walked out the door. I walked into the dark night. I went with the bad men. They took me to the big city. The city was loud. It was crowded. There were tall buildings. There were many cars. The lights were very bright. It hurt my eyes. I felt very small. I felt like a little bug. The men drove to a dark street. They stopped in front of a building. It was a club. The sign had red lights. It said the Velvet Rose. We went inside. It smelled bad. It smelled like smoke. It smelled like cheap perfume. The music was very loud. Boom, boom, boom. The floor was shaking. There were many women. They wore very short dresses. They had heavy makeup on their faces. Some were dancing. Some were talking to men. The men were drinking. The men were laughing. The leader took me to a back room. He showed me a dress. It was a red dress. It was very small. It was very thin. Put this on, he said. You work here now. You dance. You smile. You make the customers happy. Every night you work. You pay a little part of the debt. I looked at the dress. I felt cold. I put the dress on. I looked in the mirror. I did not know the girl in the mirror. She looked older. She looked sad. I walked out to the main room. The lights flashed. Blue, red, green. I stepped on the stage. The music started. I started to dance. It was very hard. I did not know how to dance well. I just moved my body. The men looked at me. They stared. Their eyes were hungry. Their eyes were ugly. They pointed at me. They laughed. I felt so much shame. I wanted to run away. I wanted to hide. But I could not hide. I had to pay the debt. I had to protect my mother. So I stayed. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. My life was very dark. I woke up in the afternoon. The sun was going down. I ate bad food. I put on the red dress. I painted my face. I went to the noisy room. I danced. I smiled a fake smile. My feet hurt. My back hurt. My heart hurt most of all. I was tired. I was lost. I was alone. I forgot how to laugh. I forgot how to cry. I was like a robot, a machine. Wake up, dance, sleep. Wake up, dance, sleep. Sometimes the men tried to touch me. I pulled away. The boss yelled at me. He said I was stupid. He said the debt was getting bigger. I felt like I was in a cage. A small, dark cage. I thought I would never get out. I thought I would die in that club. Maybe you know this feeling. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe your job is hard. Maybe your life is hard. You feel like a bird in a cage. You hit your wings on the metal bars. It hurts. You want to fly. But you cannot fly. I know this pain. I lived this pain. Please listen to me. Do not stop hoping. Do not give up. The door of the cage can open. It was winter. It was December. The weather was very cold. The wind blew hard outside. Snow fell on the streets. Inside the club, it was hot. It was sweaty. It was loud. I was very tired that night. I felt sick. My head was spinning. My legs felt heavy. But I had to dance. I walked onto the stage. The music played. I moved my feet. I looked around the room. I did not usually look at the men. I usually looked at the ceiling. But that night, I looked down. I looked into the corner of the room. It was a dark corner, and I saw him. He was sitting at a small table. He was alone. He did not have a drink in his hand. He was not talking. He was not laughing. He was just sitting. He wore a dark coat. He looked different. He did not look like the other men. The other men looked greedy. They looked wild. This man looked calm. He looked quiet. He looked strong. He was watching me. But his eyes were not hungry. His eyes were not dirty. His eyes were deep. They were brown. They looked kind. They looked sad. He watched me dance. I felt strange. My stomach flipped. I felt shy. I never felt shy in the club. I was a robot. But under his eyes, I felt like a human again. I felt like Aurora. The song ended. I stopped dancing. I breathed heavily. I walked down the small stairs of the stage. A waiter came to me. The waiter tapped my arm. He pointed to the dark corner. "The man at table 4 wants to talk to you," the waiter said. My heart beat very fast. Boom, boom, boom. I was scared. Was he a bad man too? Did he want to hurt me? Men always wanted bad things. I walked slowly. My feet dragged on the floor. I reached table 4. I stood in front of him. I forced my lips to smile. The fake smile. "Hello," I said. My voice was quiet. It was shaking a little. He did not smile back, but he did not look angry. He looked at my face. He looked at my bare arms. I was wearing the red dress. It was thin. I was shivering. The club was hot, but I felt so cold inside. I felt naked under his gaze. He stood up. He was very tall. He was much taller than me. He took off his big coat. It was a heavy, black wool coat. He held it in his hands. He took one step closer to me. I closed my eyes tight. I thought he would touch me. I thought he would grab me. I squeezed my hands into fists. But he did not touch my skin. He did not grab me. Very gently, very slowly, he placed the heavy coat over my shoulders. He wrapped it around me. The coat was huge. It covered my red dress. It covered my bare arms. It covered my shame. The coat was so warm. It smelled like outside air. It smelled like pine trees. It smelled like clean soap. It smelled safe. I opened my eyes. I looked up at him. I was shocked. No man ever gave me warmth. No man ever covered me up. They only wanted to take things off. I pulled the coat tight around my body. I held it with both hands. I felt a little piece of ice melt in my heart. "My name is Leo," he said. His voice was very deep. It was smooth. It was calm. I stared at him. I did not speak. I could not speak. He looked right into my eyes. He said words I will never forget. "No one else will ever look at you again." I blinked. I did not understand. What did he mean? Why was he saying this? My mind was confused. Was he a crazy man? Was he making a joke? "I am taking you out of here," Leo said. I shook my head. "You cannot," I whispered. "I have a debt, a very big debt. I belong to the boss. I belong to this place." Leo's face became hard. His jaw tightened. "You do not belong to anyone. You are a person. Wait here." He turned around. He walked away. He walked to the back room, the boss's room. The door closed behind him. I stood in the corner. I wore the big, warm coat. The music was still loud. The lights were still flashing. But I felt still. I felt quiet inside. I waited. The time moved so slowly. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I started to panic. Maybe the boss killed him. Maybe the bad men were beating him. I wanted to run, but the coat felt heavy. It kept me in place. I closed my eyes and prayed. "Please, let this be real. Please, let me out of this dark place." After 10 minutes, the back door opened. Leo walked out. The boss walked behind him. The boss looked very angry. His face was red, but he was looking at the floor. He was quiet. Leo walked to me. He stood in front of me. "Let's go," he said. I looked at the boss. The boss looked at me. "Get your things," the boss spit the words out. "Your debt is paid. You belong to him now. Get out." I gasped. My hands flew to my mouth. Paid. My huge debt was paid. The debt that kept me in a cage for years. It was gone. I felt dizzy. The room spun around. I almost fell. Leo put his hand on my arm. He held me steady. His touch was firm but gentle. "Go get your things," Leo said softly. I ran. I ran to the small dressing room. I did not take off the coat. I wore it over the red dress. I grabbed my small bag. I put my old shoes inside. I took the picture of my father. I did not look at the mirror. I did not say goodbye to the other girls. I just ran back out. Leo was waiting by the front door. He opened the door for me. I stepped out. The cold winter wind hit my face. Snow was falling. White, clean snow. It was beautiful. I looked up at the sky. There were no flashing red lights. There was only the black sky and white snow. I took a deep breath. The air was crisp. It was freezing. It tasted like freedom. I started to cry. The tears came fast. They were hot on my cold cheeks. I cried for my father. I cried for my mother. I cried for the years I lost in the dark room. I cried because I was outside. I was standing on the street. I was free. Leo did not tell me to stop. He did not look annoyed. He stood beside me. He let me cry. It is okay to cry. Tears are good. Tears wash the dirt away from your soul. If you need to cry today, do it. Let it out. You will feel lighter. After a few minutes, I stopped crying. I wiped my face with the sleeve of the coat. Leo pointed to a car. It was a nice, black car. "Get in," he said. He opened the passenger door. I got in. The seat was soft. He walked around and got in the driver's seat. He turned on the car. Warm air blew inside. He started driving. I sat very still. I looked out the window. The city lights passed by quickly. We were leaving the bad street. We were driving to a quiet part of the city. I felt nervous again. I looked at Leo's hands on the steering wheel. They were big hands, strong hands. "Where are we going?" I asked. My voice was tiny. "We are going to my house," Leo said. My heart sank a little. The fear came back. I said, "You bought me. The boss said I belong to you now. What do you want me to do? What is my new job?" Leo stopped the car at a red light. He turned his head. He looked at me. His brown eyes were very serious. "Listen to me, Aurora," he said. "I did not buy you. You cannot buy a human being. I paid the money so they would let you go. You are free. You do not belong to me. You do not have to do anything. I do not want anything from you." I stared at him. I was confused again. "Then why?" I asked. "Why did you pay so much money for me? You do not know me." The light turned green. Leo started driving again. He looked at the road. "Because I saw your eyes," he said quietly. "You looked like a bird in a trap. No one should live in a trap. You deserved to be free. That is all." I sat back in my seat. I pulled the coat tighter. A stranger paid my big debt. A stranger gave me his coat. A stranger wanted nothing back. It was hard to believe. In my world, everything had a price. But I was so tired. I could not think anymore. The warm air in the car made me sleepy. I closed my eyes. For the first time in years, I fell asleep, feeling completely safe. I woke up when the car stopped. We were in front of a house. It was a beautiful house. It was painted white. It had a small gate. It had big trees in the front. There was snow on the trees. It looked like a picture from a book. Leo got out. He opened my door. I stepped out into the snow. We walked up to the door. He unlocked it. We went inside. The house was very warm. It was very clean. It smelled like coffee and old books. There were soft rugs on the floor. There were paintings on the walls. It was quiet, so wonderfully quiet. No loud music. No shouting men, just peace. "This is my home," Leo said. He took off his shoes. I took off my old boots. "You will stay here. You can stay as long as you want, until you figure out what to do." He walked down a short hall. He opened a door. He turned on the light. "This is your room," he said. I looked inside. It was a beautiful room. The walls were light blue. There was a big bed. The bed had thick, white blankets. There was a window with white curtains. There was a small lamp on a table. It looked like a room for a princess. not a room for a club dancer. There are clean towels in the bathroom, Leo said. He pointed down the hall. You can take a hot shower. Then you can sleep. There is a lock on the door. You can lock it from the inside. I will not bother you. Good night, Aurora. He smiled a tiny smile. Then he turned and walked away. I walked into the room. I shut the door. I saw the lock. I turned it. Click. I was locked inside. But this time, it was a good lock. It kept the bad world out. It kept me safe inside. I went to the bathroom. I turned on the shower. The water was very hot. I took off the heavy coat. I laid it gently on a chair. I took off the thin red dress. I threw it in the trash can. I never wanted to see it again. I stepped into the hot water. I washed my hair. I washed my skin. I scrubbed hard. I washed away the smell of smoke. I washed away the smell of the club. I watched the dirty water go down the drain. I felt clean. I felt new. I put on a big, clean white shirt I found in the closet. I walked to the big bed. I climbed in. The sheets were so soft. The pillows were like clouds. I lay down. I looked at the ceiling. I listened to the quiet house. I closed my eyes. I slept deeply. I did not have any bad dreams. The next morning, I woke up. Sunlight was coming through the window. It was bright. It was morning. I had not seen the morning sun in years. I usually slept all day. I sat up. I felt different. I felt light. My head did not hurt. I got out of bed. I opened my door slowly. I smelled something good. I walked to the kitchen. Leo was there. He was wearing normal clothes, jeans, and a gray sweater. He was cooking eggs on the stove. He was making coffee. He heard me. He turned around. "Good morning," he said. His voice was bright. "Good morning," I said. I looked down at my feet. I was shy. "Did you sleep well?" he asked. "Yes, very well. Thank you," I said. "Sit down," he said. He pointed to a chair at a wooden table. I sat down. He put a plate of food in front of me. Eggs, warm bread, butter, and jam. He poured me a cup of coffee. He put milk in it. I looked at the food. My mouth watered. I was so hungry. I picked up a fork. I took a bite of the eggs. They were perfect. I took a bite of the bread. It was warm and sweet. I ate quickly. I ate everything on the plate. Leo sat across from me. He drank his coffee. He read a newspaper. He did not stare at me. He just let me eat. "This is very good," I said. "Thank you for the food." He lowered his newspaper. He smiled. A real smile this time. "You are welcome, Aurora. You can eat as much as you want here." That day was the beginning of my new life. It was a very quiet life. At first, it was hard. I was scared of everything. I was jumpy. When the phone rang, I jumped. When a door closed loudly, I shook. I was waiting for the bad men to come. I was waiting for Leo to change. I thought, he will get angry soon. He will ask for his money soon. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And Leo never changed. He was always calm. He was always kind. He went to his job every day. He worked in an office. He came home in the evening. We ate dinner together. Sometimes we watched a movie. Sometimes we read books. He taught me how to cook new things. I learned to make soup. I learned to bake cake. I started to heal. The dark bags under my eyes went away. My skin looked healthy. I started to smile naturally. I started to laugh at his jokes. The house felt like a real home. My room felt like my safe place. I kept the heavy black coat in my closet. Sometimes, when I felt scared, I hugged the coat. It reminded me of the night I was saved, but I still had a struggle inside. My mind played tricks on me. I thought I was dirty. I thought I was not good enough for this clean house. I thought I was a mistake. One day, I was washing the dishes. I was washing a glass bowl. My hands were wet with soap. The bowl slipped. It fell from my hands. It hit the floor. Crash. The bowl broke into 100 pieces. Sharp glass went everywhere. I froze. My breath stopped. Fear hit me like a punch in the stomach. In the club, if I broke a glass, the boss hit me. He yelled at me. He called me stupid names. He took money from my pay. I dropped to my knees on the hard floor. I started picking up the broken glass with my bare hands. My hands were shaking fast. I grabbed a sharp piece. It cut my finger. A deep cut. Bright red blood started to drop on the floor. I did not care about the blood. I just wanted to hide the mess. I started to cry. I am sorry, I am sorry, I am sorry, I whispered. I heard fast footsteps. Leo ran into the kitchen. He saw the broken bowl. He saw me on the floor. He saw the blood. He did not yell. He did not look angry. He looked worried. Very worried. He dropped to his knees right beside me. "Aurora, stop," he said. He grabbed my hands. He pulled them away from the glass. "Do not touch it." "I broke your bowl," I cried loudly. Tears ran down my face. "I am clumsy. I am stupid. I will pay for it. Please don't be mad. Please don't send me back." Leo looked at me. His eyes were full of pain, not for the bowl, for me. He realized how scared I was. He realized how broken I was inside. He gently held my bleeding hand. He took a clean cloth from the table. He pressed it on my cut to stop the blood. He looked deeply into my eyes. "Aurora, look at me," he said firmly. I looked at him through my tears. "It is just a bowl," he said slowly. "It is just glass. It means nothing. You mean everything. You are safe here. I will never, ever be mad at you for a mistake. I will never send you back. Do you hear me?" I nodded slowly. "You are not stupid," he said. He reached up and wiped a tear from my cheek with his thumb. "You are brave. You are good. Please, do not be afraid of me." I looked at his face. I saw the truth. There was no lie in his eyes. There was only care. There was only kindness. Suddenly, the big wall of fear inside my heart broke. It shattered, just like the bowl. But it was a good breaking. The bad feelings poured out. The good feelings rushed in. I leaned forward. I rested my head on his chest. I cried softly. He wrapped his arms around me. He held me tight. He smelled like pine trees and clean soap, just like the coat. I felt completely safe. I knew, in that moment, I would never be hurt again. After that day, everything felt brighter. I did not just survive in his house. I lived. I started to go outside. I took walks in the park. I watched the birds. I watched the children play. The world was not scary. The world was beautiful. I decided I wanted to do more. I wanted to be useful. I wanted to stand on my own feet. I told Leo during dinner. "Leo," I said, "I want to find a job." He looked surprised, but he smiled. "That is a wonderful idea, Aurora. What kind of job do you want?" "I don't know," I said. "Something quiet, something beautiful." We walked into the town center the next day. We looked at many shops. We saw a small flower shop on a corner. It had beautiful colors in the window. Red roses, yellow tulips, white daisies. It smelled wonderful. There was a sign on the door. It said, "Help wanted." I pointed to the sign. "There," I said, "I want to work with flowers." We went inside. An old woman with silver hair was behind the counter. Her name was Mrs. Higgins. She had a kind face. I walked up to her. I stood tall. I smiled a real smile. "Hello," I said clearly. "My name is Aurora. I want to work here. I am a hard worker. I learn fast. Would you hire me?" Mrs. Higgins looked at me. She looked at my bright eyes. She smiled back. "You have a lovely smile, dear," she said. "Yes, you can start tomorrow." I jumped with joy. I turned to Leo. He was watching me from the door. He looked very proud. I started my job at the flower shop. I loved it. I woke up early every morning. I put on nice, simple clothes. I walked to the shop. The morning air was fresh. I swept the floor. I put clean water in the vases. I cut the stems of the flowers. I arranged them into beautiful bouquets. People came into the shop. They bought flowers for weddings. They bought flowers for birthdays. They bought flowers to say, "I love you." I helped them choose. I talked to them. I wished them a good day. They smiled at me. They thanked me. At the end of the week, Mrs. Higgins gave me an envelope. It had money inside. My pay, clean money, good money. I worked hard for it. I was so proud. I walked home with my head held high. I bought groceries with my own money. I cooked a big dinner for Leo. I bought him a small book he wanted. I gave it to him. He was so happy. I felt like a normal person. I felt worthy. If you are trying to build your life again, find something you love. Work hard at it. It does not matter if it is a small job. Earning your own honest money builds your spirit. It makes you stand tall. You can do it. Step by step. Day by day. Spring came. The snow melted. The trees grew green leaves. Little blue birds sang outside my window. My life was completely different. The club felt like a bad dream, a dream from another lifetime. As the days passed, I realized something else. I realized my feelings for Leo were changing. He was my savior. He was my friend. But now, he was more. When he walked into a room, my heart beat faster, not from fear, from joy. When he smiled, my stomach fluttered. I loved to hear his voice. I loved to see his face. I realized I loved him. I loved Leo, but I kept it a secret. I did not say anything. I was afraid to ruin everything. I thought he only saw me as a poor girl, a project, someone he helped. I thought he could never love someone like me, someone with a dark past. He deserved a perfect woman, a rich woman, a woman with no scars. So I hid my love deep in my heart. One evening in May, the weather was very warm. The sun was going down slowly. The sky was painted with pink and orange colors. It was a beautiful evening. Leo came to the flower shop. It was time to close. I locked the door. We started walking home together. We did not talk much. It was a comfortable silence. We walked past a small park. There was a wooden bench under a big oak tree. "Let's sit," Leo said. He pointed to the bench. We sat down. The park was quiet. The leaves rustled in the soft wind. Leo looked at the sunset. Then he turned his body to face me. He looked very serious. My heart did a little jump. Was something wrong? "Aurora," he said softly, "you have been with me for 6 months now." "Yes," I said, 6 wonderful months." "You are doing so well," he continued. "You are so strong. You work at the shop. You have your own money. You are happy." "I am," I smiled. "Thanks to you." Leo shook his head. "No, thanks to you. You did the hard work. You healed yourself." He took a deep breath. He looked down at his hands. Then he looked into my eyes. "You are ready," he said. His voice was a little tight. "You are completely free now. You have money saved. You can rent a nice apartment. You can live your own independent life. You don't have to stay in my guest room anymore." My smile fell. The warm air suddenly felt cold. My chest tightened. Leave. He wanted me to leave. He was sending me away. Tears quickly filled my eyes. I blinked hard to stop them. "Do you want me to leave?" I asked. My voice cracked. Leo looked away. He watched a bird fly into a tree. "I want you to have a full life," he said. "You are young. You are beautiful. You should explore the world. You do not owe me anything, Aurora. The debt is gone. You do not have to stay with me out of gratitude. You should fly." He was letting me go. He was giving me the ultimate freedom. He was opening the door to the world. He was a truly good man. He did not want to trap me again, not even in a nice house. I understood what he was doing. He was putting my happiness first. I wiped my eyes. I took a deep breath. I felt a surge of courage. The brave Aurora woke up. I did not want the world. I wanted him. I reached out. I took his big, warm hand in both of my hands. I squeezed it tightly. Leo looked at me in surprise. He looked at our hands. "Leo," I said. I made my voice strong. "You are right. I am free. I can go anywhere in the world. I can do anything." I looked deep into his brown eyes. "But I do not want to go," I said clearly. "I want to stay. I choose to stay." He stared at me, his lips parted slightly. "You do?" he asked. He sounded unsure. He sounded vulnerable. "Yes," I said. A tear fell down my cheek, but it was a happy tear. "I do not want to stay because I owe you. I do not want to stay because I need a place to sleep. I want to stay because I love you." Leo's eyes grew wide. The serious look melted away. A bright, shining light came into his eyes. A huge smile spread across his face. It was the biggest, most beautiful smile I had ever seen. He moved closer to me on the bench. He wrapped his arms around me. He pulled me into his chest. He held me so tight. I buried my face in his neck. "Oh, Aurora," he whispered in my hair. "I love you too. I loved you from the first moment I saw you on that stage. You looked so brave. You looked so bright in all that darkness. But I had to let you be free. I had to let you find your own feet. I wanted you to choose me freely. Not because you were trapped." I pulled back a little. I looked at his smiling face. I reached up and touched his cheek. "I choose you," I said, "forever." He leaned in. He kissed me. It was a soft, sweet kiss. It was not a kiss of greed. It was a kiss of pure love. It was a kiss of promise. It felt like standing in the warm sun after a long, cold winter. It felt like coming home. That was 5 years ago. A lot has changed since that day on the bench. We did not rent an apartment. We stayed in the house with the white walls. But I moved out of the guest room. I moved into his room. We got married 2 years later. It was a small wedding in the garden. Mrs. Higgins was there. She cried happy tears. I still work at the flower shop. But I do not just work there. When Mrs. Higgins got too old to work, she sold the shop to me. I bought it with my saved money. I am the owner now. I am a businesswoman. I sell joy to people every day. Leo is still the same kind, calm man. He is my husband. He is my best friend. We laugh a lot. We cook together. We walk in the park. Sometimes, late at night, I look at him while he sleeps. I listen to his quiet breathing. I think about my journey. I think about the scared, tired girl in the red dress. The girl who thought her life was over. The girl who danced to pay a bad debt. I open my closet. The heavy black coat is still there. It hangs in the back. I touch the soft wool. It reminds me of the night everything changed. The night he put the coat over my shoulders. The night he told the boss my debt was paid. The night he bought my physical freedom. But Leo did more than pay a debt. He gave me a safe space to find my own inner freedom. He gave me time to heal. He gave me respect. He treated me like a human being. Love cannot grow in a cage. Love only grows in freedom. He set me free, so I could fly right back to him. I want to speak to you again. the person listening to this story. Look at my life. Look at how far I came. From a dark, smoky club with bad men to a bright flower shop filled with love. Maybe you feel like your story is over. Maybe you think your mistakes are too big. Maybe you think your debt is too heavy. Maybe you think no one will ever look at you with love. You are wrong. Your story is not over. You are just in a dark chapter. Turn the page. Keep walking. The night is always darkest before the morning sun comes up. You are strong, even if your hands shake. You are brave, even if you cry. You have a beautiful light inside your soul. No bad person, no bad place, no bad mistake can turn off your light. Do not settle for a cage. Do not settle for people who use you. Wait for the good people. Wait for the people who offer you a warm coat when you are freezing. Wait for the people who want you to be free. Good people exist in this world. True love exists in this world. Forgive yourself for the past. Wash your hands. Put on a clean shirt. Step outside. Breathe the fresh air. Start again. You can learn a new skill. You can find a new job. You can build a new home. Step by step, day by day. It takes time to heal. It takes time to trust again. That is okay. Be patient with yourself. If you drop a bowl, clean it up. It is just a bowl. Your worth is not broken. Your worth is perfect. Keep your heart open. Keep your eyes open. Life can surprise you in beautiful ways. The universe can send a quiet stranger into your dark corner. Help is out there. You deserve happiness. You deserve safety. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be loved. Never give up hope. Keep fighting for your freedom. Keep fighting for your joy. You can do this too. I believe in you. Thank you for listening to my story. I send you all my love from the flower shop. I wish you a bright, beautiful tomorrow. Walk forward. The best days of your life are waiting for you.